Join me as I take on the challenge of recreating authentic German WW1 saddlebags from scratch. Can I pull it off? First, I have to say that leather work is something really new to me. I tried to sew the belt once, but that's it so far with my leather experience. So, right at the start, learning this craft with a huge project like this, what could possibly go wrong, right? Anyway, the challenge lies in sourcing materials and techniques that replicate the original saddlebags accurately, while ensuring durability and functionality. Again, while learning how to do it properly. So there's a lot on our list, as it seems, right? Let's go! Before we start working on them, first we have to check about the techniques and materials, so we can achieve historical authenticity for sure. I found this book about saddlery and leather, which was published in 1908. That one is a reprint, but apart from that, it is exactly the same. Besides tools, how to use them, all kinds of techniques that we could use, there are also different patterns for a huge variety of things, just not the one we would need. Saddlebags. Now, the very first step was to take the measurements of the bags and everything they have on them. Like the bag for the horseshoe, the ammo bag, the connection, and how the bags are sewn together. Just everything we find on there and that is able to be measured. After I got the measurements so far, I started to work on transferring them onto paper, so was able to produce a pattern. Meaning all the different parts now have a model of paper, like the top, the side, all the bags, the connection, the front and the back. Then it was time to check if I got the pattern right. In order of this, I produced a dummy saddlebag out of from canvas. Of course, I got all the specialties on it. Now, while comparing them both, I get assured that the pattern I got out of my original seems to match quite right. All the dimensions look right, there's nothing odd or suspicious, or too big or too small. That means I'm able to take proper measurements, which is nice to know. Another really important thing was to get the right buckles in the right dimensions and in a good quality. Comparing the two different types I got with the original shows, they are pretty close to it. One in black, the other one rather shiny. So to get rid of the shiny one, I had to paint it in feel grey and it looked just far better. Or what do you guys think? After all the preparations were done, the pattern checked and compared, the right buckles and tools put together, it was time to start the project for real. The first step was to transfer the paper pattern onto the leather. So I laid the pieces around to get the best distribution on the leather before finally sketching around them. In the next step, the leather needed to be cut. And since there were a lot of pieces, I had to cut a lot. In total, this was the most scary and the most satisfying step. Scary because, if I made a mistake now, a lot of material would go to waste. Satisfying because, just look at the cutting footage. It is purely satisfying only to look at the footage of it, isn't it? Another important and crucial step was to form the leather for the horseshoe pouch on one of the saddlebags. How did I do that? Well, first soaking the leather in water for a while, so it got really wet. While it soaked in water, I prepared a wooden mold with the measurements I got. I decided to use wood, so it is able to absorb the water better and dry the leather smoothly while holding it in foam. After the soaking, it needed to be formed into the right shape first and then clamped into the mold so it could dry. When it was dried, I could get it out and it still held its form. For me, it was an experiment, since I had no idea what I was doing, but luckily it turned out pretty well. Time to pre-stitch the leather. I had two options, either with chainsaws, doing it piece by piece, or using my leather sewing machine for light to medium leather from the 1890s. Guess what I choose? Exactly, a machine to do it a bit quicker and therefore more efficient. Now let us listen a bit to the wonderful sound. We can hear how heavy the machine works, right? Almost like music to my ears. Since the service manual states that the leather should be dyed in brown, it was time to dye it. So I do not have to do it afterwards and it looks better later on. Honestly, I learned it the hard way, so here we are. Before using the dye, I prepped the leather by cleaning and roughening the surface just a little bit to let the dye soak into the leather better. And it worked. The dye appeared a bit too light to me, so I added a second layer. Anyway, then it was time to sew all the pieces together by hand, so close to the end and yet so far away from it. Every stitch had to be prepared with an awl. Then the needles needed to be pulled through, often enough with the help of tongs, and that really took a while until everything was fixed. First the front on the sides, then all the extra stuff like the side bag for the ammo, the horseshoe pouch and all the buckles. Then the backside folded up by sewing both bags onto the bridge before finally adding the lid. That took a really long time. So in total it was a wild ride, but a lot of fun. And as you can see, I did not only one, but two of these. Now let us compare them to the original and the pictures of the other ones I got. We start the comparison of the saddlebags by looking first at the outcome and how they look, besides the original. First we can see that the dimensions are right and nothing looks too far off. Indeed, we have our first look at the more complicated bag, since there might be more mistakes. In this picture we have a look at the whole saddlebags and we can observe that the other side works as well. Alright, I think it would be enough when we focus just on one of the reproductions, since apart from the buckles, they are pretty much the same. They only differ in minor details, because everything is handmade, and so of course they just cannot be totally alike, but alike enough that one is representative of the two of them. Now let us have a closer look at the upper straps first. These are pretty close to the horseshoe pouch and are right beneath the upper edge. Moving on to the horseshoe pouch. This could either be closed through two holes and a strap, like we have here, or with the help of a stud, as we can see on this picture of another original. Since I got the original with the holes, I went through the holes as well. On this pouch we have some more straps. Just let me open them. One of the straps gets held on the side by the ammo pouch, which is one of the most interesting constructions of the bags. The pouch is put a bit higher through some leather straps, which are thinned out towards the end. In total, we have the higher middle through which the straps need to be pulled through, and it gives some stability for the bags. Now we open the ammo pouch to have a look at what is inside there. First we can see another strap. Let's pull it. Well, let's pull it the right way, please. There we go. Inside there fits actually an ammo box with the right dimensions. This is a reproduction as well, but it does its job. Well, at some point I should produce a block of wood in these dimensions so I can stretch the ammo pouch just a bit better, without the danger of ruining the boxes made of cardboard. On all the other sides, the straps are held by these lashes. The lower ones got long lashes, the upper ones are shorter, because on the upper edge is not so much space left. The backside is a bit different to the typical ones I know. Usually, each bag has 4 lashes, so that the auxiliary package bags could be attached there with the help of straps. Not here. They seem more like to get attached there right with these straps. And now again, the ammo pouch. but this time the strap gets through it. See how easy that works? That one turned out pretty well. Moving on to the connection, or the bridge as I would call it. They could have all sorts of different shapes actually. This one is pretty wide and put into the right shape through threads. I suppose that this is one of the weak points of the whole construction, since a lot of forces are pulling there and might rip the thread after a while apart. So it needs repair. At least it does seem to be like that on the original I got. Our next detail in focus is the buckle below. A pretty easy and simple construction through which the top part gets held in place with a strap. It works and does exactly what it's supposed to do. So, no big surprises here. Well, looking at the other saddlebag, we can surely see that this is a boring one compared to the previous one we looked at. In total, we have on the front just 4 buckles for holding the straps. That's basically it. On the original, we can find an attachment so that the axe could be placed there. But this is very special and I did not sew something like this on the back. What we can also see here is how the sewing style on the ones I did is a bit different to the original I got, since I sewed the pieces together on the outside. But then a lot of other originals got the same sewing style as we can see on these pictures here, so I am still on the safe side. This is all super interesting and stuff, but what about the important part? Does it actually fit on the saddle, or was it in that regard a colossal fail? Have a look yourselves. They do fit on the saddle and look not that bad. Yeah, I still have a lot to learn and to improve, but I think I made enormous steps forward regarding leatherwork, which is pretty good, since there are still some huge projects in front of me. Alright, that's it so far for today. Thank you all for watching, have a good one and see you next time. Bye!